Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Tremors Shrieker Island. And I was a young person, probably too young to be watching Tremors in the first place, I've loved Tremors. And this is, 7 films in, and the last 3, directed by Don Michael Paul, have really leaned into straight to VOD, straight to DVD cheesiness and over the topness. If the other ones before that didn't have that, because the first Tremors is a legitimate B horror movie, and I love it. I really enjoy it so much. And then the second one, Aftershocks, I really enjoyed that one too. And I even have a strong appreciation for the sci-fi original one back in the Old West. And watching these later ones, it's like they're pairing up Michael Gross, who is Burt Gummer. Burt Gummer keeps coming back. So much fun, and love this crazy libertarian survivalist character. And he gets paired up with D-list actors. Jamie Kennedy plays his son in the past too, and for reasons he wasn't around for this one. And then you have John Heder, Napoleon Dynamite himself, kind of replacing him in this one. And this is so interesting because this particular film was credited as being based off of a Most Dangerous Game, and I'm like, okay. I thought that was, and the basic plot of this particular Tremors movie is they're on these islands out in the ocean. Why is Burt Gummer there? Because he's all really off the grid now, that Nevada government wanting to tax him and surveillance him. And so he's randomly on this island with a beard down to here and going crazy on this island. But there's a man who runs a group of really rich people who like to hunt rare game and gets his hands illegally on 4 graboids and bring them to these islands, and then they evolve into this habitat, and the Shriekers there have EMP level shrieking abilities that they could actually use to harm people and use as weapons. So they shriek and everybody's like, ah, their brains are gonna explode. And then of course there's a queen graboid, which is Godzilla-sized monster in this one. Because you always have to find crazy ways to up the game. And especially by now, these movies are so stupid. So stupid. The characters are stupid. Their dialogue's awful. But I can't help but love them. And I'm going to give this an honest grade. I don't really give grades on here, but I'm going to say this is not a great movie. CGI's horrendous. I miss the days of them being puppets. But the shit that they have them do now, you can't really do with puppets. These graboids jump out of the ground spiraling at people. Before they're just big awkward worms that just brrr, moved in one space. And now instead of the ground pulling up underneath them in a little mound, they shoot up Michael Bay explosions of dirt. I'm just Don Michael Paul, who took over directing these, has such an obnoxious, and I think that's one of the big things, is he has such an obnoxious directorial style. Everything is weirdly saturated in colors, slow-mo, Dutch angle, everything. Thinks of everything you can possibly do, so much slow motion. And they're just cheesy as hell to the point where they just look bad from a directorial and a cinematic perspective. But this movie has Burt dealing with the fact that the woman of, because of course the past couple ones he always finds these strange connections with these characters from other characters and other movies, and this woman who's part of this scientific group on this island happens to be his ex-lover, who happens to be Jenny Kennedy's mom. And you have these things that you're taking a look at. They have Burt going head to head with this leader of this most dangerous game group, and how their ideologies are conflicting when it comes to these animals. John Heater's just John Heatering around, and like the only ones, like there's like Jackie Cruz, who's from like Orange Is the New Black, is like a big graboid enthusiast and loves Burt Gummer, and she's pretty badass in this, so I appreciate that. But like they have all these people using, because like they don't really have guns and very limited explosives, so like all these people, graboids are around enough that they have a video package about Burt Gummer to introduce him to the rest of the group. Such bad writing. So bad. But they don't realize that shooting arrows at the ground's not going to kill graboids. So basically, and this film takes a very bold choice at the very end of this film, to the point where I was so checked out of being like invested in this, just watching it for silly fun, that I was in disbelief at the end of this movie. Because I'm like, they didn't just do that, did they? What? And it didn't hit with me because this movie was so bad and silly that that bold choice at the end didn't feel earned in this particular film. And I'm just like, what? So, for all you Tremors fans for a long time, you're going to be sitting there like, what the hell just happened? And honestly, sitting at the end of this movie in general, you're going to be thinking that, because it's pretty bad. But I love Tremors. It's on Netflix now. I rented this on VOD and then found out like the next day that it was on Netflix. And I'm just like, ugh. So, if you're going to watch it, it's on Netflix right now. It's in their top 10 because they keep track of stuff like that now. But those are my thoughts on Tremors Shrieker Island. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.